Have you ever talked to someone who is so smart they can't explain anything? I think we've all met that person. Brilliant mind, terrible communicator. Well, there is a name for that, the curse of knowledge. And today I want to show you how this affects digital marketing, branding, sales, but even how you talk about your own business or your profession or expertise in everyday life. Because understanding this concept can literally change the way you communicate and how people respond to you. I work with business owners all the time. NGOs, cafes, public figures, shops, startups, and so on. And I hear the same sentence again and again. People don't understand what we do. And usually they blame the audience for that. People don't pay attention, clients don't read, customers don't understand our value, and so on. But the truth is, it's almost never the audience's fault. Most businesses struggle to communicate simply because they know too much. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but they have lived inside their product for so long that they no longer see what it looks like from the outside. And they speak from the top of the mountain to people who are still at the first step. That's exactly the curse of knowledge in action. In psychology, the curse of knowledge means when you know something so deep, your brain forgets what it's like not to know it. And you lose the ability to imagine someone else's ignorance, so to say. You explain things assuming the other person already knows and understands the basics, but they don't. And this leads to unclear websites, confusing marketing messages, overcomplicated posts, or maybe content that sounds smart but feels unreachable. Why is this bad for marketing? Because people don't buy what they don't understand. Your message can be brilliant, your product amazing, your service life-changing. But if it sounds complicated, your audience leaves. Not because they're stupid, not because they don't care, but because you're speaking a very high language and you are using words that have a very high cognitive load. Digital marketing experts make a very big mistake when they think, but this is obvious. Nothing is obvious. You think your terms, your process, your value, or your offer are clear, but your audience is hearing them for the first time, and hopefully not for the last one. This is why many campaigns fail, not because the product is bad, but because the communication is too advanced. Let me give you a real and simple example from my experience. I once worked with a company that explained their services like this. We provide fully integrated omni-channel solutions for SME segments. And I asked them, okay, but what do you actually do? They said, oh, we build websites for small businesses. Very simple, exact same thing, but one version is human and the other version is jargon. Whenever this happens to me, I explain to the people I work with a metaphor. If your grandmother doesn't understand your value in one sentence, it's too complicated because clarity is not dumping down. Clarity is respect. What is the science behind it? Stanford researchers did a famous experiment. One person tapped a song written on a table, another person had to guess the song. The tappers predicted people would guess correctly 50% of the time. But do you know what the real number is? It is only 2.5%. Why? Because once you know the melody, you can't imagine what it's like to hear only the tapping. That's the curse of knowledge. Your brain fills in missing information, but your audience hears only the tapping. Here's the good news. You can break the curse of knowledge because it's a skill and of course it can be trained. Here are a few techniques that, let's say, or tips that I use for myself and for those I work with. Number one is the beginner's lens. Put yourself in a beginner's place and ask a simple question. If I had zero knowledge about my service, what would I need to hear first? Start at level 1, not level 8. Second is the 12-year-old rule. Explain your product, your service, or your profession like talking to a smart 12-year-old. Simple, clear, no jargon. In fact, Harvard Communication Labs recommended this exact method. Number 3 is to remove jargon and add more meaning. Replace the technical words with human language. Let's say analytics-driven multi-channel strategy becomes, we help you attract more customers online. Same meaning, but more impact. Number 4 is the ladder method. If you don't know the level of knowledge of those in front of you, explain things and ideas step by step. Start from ground, concept, example, which is very important, and then application. Not just concept, concept, concept. Number 5 is to ask a real outsider, and this is my favorite one. Your team knows too much, your friends know too much. Everyone around you knows too much. Find someone who doesn't work in your industry and ask them a simple question. Does this make sense? If it doesn't, simplify. Number 6 and the last one is to prioritize story over information. People remember stories, not definitions. Whenever possible, explain through real example or metaphor, because we as a species are trained for thousands of years to learn through fairy tales and stories. The better you explain things, the more people listen. The clearer your message, the stronger your brand. Because in a world full of noise like ours has become, clarity is a very great competitive advantage. And that's why I work so hard and I focus to simplify communication for my clients, because it is very important while you solve complex problems to keep your language simple and understandable, because clarity brings confidence and confidence brings customers. I'm Vullnet Veliaj, helping businesses turn complexity into communication that actually works.